Hello everyone, you are welcome back. This is Dozie, and we are today going to be talking about developmental psychology, early childhood, middle childhood. Yes, okay, if I'm using that word, developmental psychology 351, psychology 351, and today we would want to start with a very important aspect of the course, an overview and domains of development. Yes. So, in psychology, is a very important course we also go through. Oh, yes. So, we understand that there are a lot of controversies that have no um, that has gathered empirical data across several of the divides, right? Okay, I'm talking about like nature and nurture. When you that nature and nurture controversy in learning and maturity, how do you say somebody have grown up? What somebody knows and his personality, is it about nature or nurture? What constitutes us? You will discover that phenotype and genotype has a lot. Okay, phenotype, genotype, yeah, they have a lot to say about whom you are, the way you look, the characteristics that your parents transfer to you and everything has a lot to talk about your behavior. Is it that nature, or is it the environment, the training you received that resulted to whom you are? Is it that you learned a lot through nurture, like learning and maturity this time, learning to do this, learning to have wisdom and everything? Do you learn these things and have became a wise person, or through experiences you learned these things, or is it the other way around? Maturity happened, you grew up. You know, there is a statement that not that my child is grown means that my child is sensible or is wise, right? So it could have grown from childhood to 18, 20 years. Doesn't mean you have gathered a lot of wisdom in life, right? So you see that learning is different from maturity. And again, nature is another aspect and different from nurture. Now, you will discover that across these controversies, there is no victor, no vanquish. Each and every of these divide has their own role to play in our personality, in our development as a person, as a social animal, as a biological animal. Okay, I'm using that right. Yeah, that is what we call it. So you see the roles of socialization and everything. Do you know that if there is a lot of nice people to teach you, to nurture you, if you don't have the biological capacity, the biological nature to acquire those nurture, it will not happen. No matter the good learning atmosphere, if the maturity is not there, if your brain is not developed to take all the calculus, then they should not expose you to it, right? So what is this device trying to say? Your personality is made up of the interaction of nature and nurture. Learning to take place, there need to be adequate and matured environment to even express those behavior. So that is very important. Now, here we will talk about the domains of human development. Please remember to subscribe to our channel, like and share. Very important, please. We are still requesting for that. And now, the domains of human development. When we are developing, there are 3 areas we need to and we do develop, which are very important. One is the biological domain, or you call it the physical domain. That is when your legs are growing up, your maturity is coming up, you start developing hairs in the pubic areas and your right areas and everything, and in male, the voice will start changing. In female, the breast will start coming out, and they'll start experiencing their menstrual cycle and everything. These are physical and we call it biological domain of development. Humans develop these things. Our brain become bigger, our head, and have more capacity to engage in other things, or accommodate, assimilate and accommodate more complex activities. Let me use that word, right? So that's the first one. The second domain of development is the cognitive domain of development. So you see, that is where we talk about our brain, our thinking faculty, our reasoning capacity and capability. You do calculations with pebbles or little things. You understand things just by seeing them. From there, you go through other higher level of calculations and memories and memorizations and problem solvings. As you are moving on, we develop there also. That's the second domain. The last domain is the social, or you call it the psychosocial domain. The psychosocial domain of human development is also very important, and you may say this is where the psychologist is interested in, but trust me, all of them cannot do without each other, just like those controversies, right? It is the interaction of all these that make up who you are. So the psychosocial domain, this time around, how do you relate with your parents? How do you develop from the moment your father comes back and buys a treat like a bread, and all the small baby do is to just drag the whole bread and, okay baby, you can bring a little share to everyone, and the baby will start crying. At that point, the child is very selfish. At that point, the child does not understand to share, right? But through nurture, the child is taught to relate with others and understand that this bread is for everyone. You will see the child serving as a watchdog whenever they are sharing that bread, to make sure that he or she is not cheated, right? And then, so, you know, a statement, is it Ginger Crusoe said, no, Bertrand Russell, I think, he said, man without man is inhuman. Without man nurturing us, teaching us how to respect our elders, teaching us how to relate with every other person, even our friends, how to say sorry and how to be comforted, and all those cuddle and the warmth from a mother, and petting the child, calling the child, and all the love. These are building, molding, and developing the child's emotions, how to love. All those warm regards we receive from loved ones, significant others around us, they go a long way to shape our emotion and our social life, how we relate to others. As we go on from childhood to adolescence, all these demands are increasing, and with adequate training from childhood, we successfully navigate these areas. Yes, so they are very important. But you know, at the point everyone is caring for you and contributing, and from adolescence to young adults, you are at that point thinking, how do I give back to my society? How do I contribute back to those that have given me life and has given me nurture and everything? How do I support them? All of those things. Before you know it, old age is coming, and there is also responsibilities. How to retire, how to resign, how to be cared for once again. Yeah, so they come with their challenges and their mental implications, right? So what are we saying? The domains of human development are categorized under these three: the physical domain, the cognitive domain, and the psychosocial domain. So in this course, Developmental Psychology 1, this is going to have another part in second semester, Developmental Psychology 2, 35252. But so this one we see our development from childhood to adolescence, while the next course will take care of older adult to old age, younger adult to old age. So in this course, our explanation to these developments will cut across the developments, the theories of development as provided by some of the prominent schools of thought and some theorists. We will be looking at the work of Sigmund Freud, his psychosexual theory. Yes, we'll look at that and his defense mechanisms, as the case may be, if necessary in this course. And then we'll look at the psychosocial theory of Erik Erikson from stage 1 to stage 5. Yes. Then we'll look at another one aspect from cognitive domain, that is the cognitive epidemiology or theory of human development by Jean Piaget. Jean Piaget, yeah. Or in French they call it Jean Piaget. Okay, so we'll look at all of those in this course, and please sit tight and flow with us because they are very important topics we need to understand moving forward in this course. Thank you very much.